I have this weird obsession, I guess guilty pleasure, with films that deal with wealthy individuals or wealthy families who suddenly find themselves with next to nothing and no money, and usually these are done as comedies and they're brilliant. And Material Girls is no exception. This actually has a really shocking rating on IMDb. It's got 4 out of 10 across 22,000 reviews and ratings, which is so low, and I really like this, and I would have given it a 6, maybe slightly higher, but 6 out of 10 for me is a pretty decent rating for this. I don't understand why it's not done so well, because I like it as a guilty pleasure. This was actually released in 2006, directed by Martha Coolidge, and pretty great cast. Hilary Duff, Haylie Duff, Anjelica Huston. There's nothing about the casting that I don't like. I like Hilary Duff, of course, but I've never been, I was never that obsessed with Lizzie McGuire. But this was released roughly the time when I would have started to very slowly grow out of those kind of TV shows and that era of Disney. And I think everything started to change then. So this is very much released at the right time for me when I was this age. And yet, having said that, I didn't see it until very recently. And even now, I absolutely adore it, because it's got all of the hallmarks of this kind of film that I love. It's brightly coloured, there are a lot of pinks, the colour palette is very feminine and very, there's a lot of whites. White always seems to suggest crisp, money, cleanliness, usually high-tech. And the narrative is obviously not the most exciting. It's very predictable. You have these wealthy girls who suddenly have, next to nothing because an investigation takes away their wealth. There's a bit of a scandal going on. It takes a little dark turn at a few points. But ultimately, it's about the strength of Tanzie and Ava, played by Hilary Duff and Haylie Duff, respectively. And I like it. It's a comfortable film. It's relaxing. It's warming. It's easy, very easy to watch. Absolutely. It's it's rated PG, so don't expect too much from it, even though there is a kind of scandal going on here. The fact that it centres around money that has come about due to their cosmetics company, the family's money earned through cosmetics, obviously gives it a kind of teen chick flick kind of film. And that's exactly what it is. And I really like that as my little guilty pleasure. For me, it's emblematic of that kind of film. And I don't think it's my favourite Riches to Rags story, but I think it works really well. The characters are quite well developed. The narrative is reasonably well developed, if quite predictable. Brilliant cast, of course. I can't really fault it. Just because it's not the best film I've ever seen, it doesn't mean that it's bad. According to the trivia, it was written for Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. I grew up worshipping Mary-Kate and Ashley. I still do, let's be honest. But that would have been really interesting to see, actually, and I think I would have preferred that. They never did a kind of Riches to Rags film at this extent, so it would have been really interesting, but doesn't detract from the quality of the film. I really like it. Can't really fault it. If you like this kind of thing and want something that's easy to watch, give it a go. I don't think you'll be disappointed.